They dazzled on screen, their faces immortalized in flickering reels of silver. But behind the glamour, beneath the perfectly lit close-ups, lay secrets Hollywood's elite guarded fiercely. These vintage stars, icons of an era, went under the knife to chase an elusive ideal of perfection, reshaping not just their bodies, but their legacies. Welcome to a journey through the hidden transformations that defined Hollywood's golden age, where beauty came at a cost and silence was the currency of fame. From molar removals to sculpt cheekbones to secret facelifts that erased years in a single procedure, these 20 stars crafted their images with precision, often in the shadows of their own studios. Let's step into the spotlight and reveal the truth. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen, became the epitome of Hollywood allure, her name synonymous with timeless beauty. Yet, the bombshell image that captivated millions was meticulously crafted, not only through charisma, but also through surgical precision. In the late 1940s, as she transitioned from model to starlet, Marilyn underwent procedures that redefined her face and future. Public records and biographer accounts confirm she had rhinoplasty to refine her nose, a subtle chin implant to sharpen her jawline, and electrolysis to reshape her hairline, creating that iconic widow's peak. These changes, though discreet, were transformative. Her rhinoplasty softened her nasal profile, giving her a delicate photogenic charm that cameras adored. The chin implant added structure, balancing her features to project both vulnerability and allure. Electrolysis sculpted her forehead, framing her face with a distinctive hairline that became a signature. Together, these procedures helped Norma Jean shed her girl-next-door look, birthing the sultry Marilyn who dominated screens. Hollywood's relentless demand for perfection pushed her to these choices, and the results cemented her as the ultimate bombshell. Her transformation wasn't merely cosmetic. It was a reinvention that shaped an icon, proving beauty could be engineered as much as it was born. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth, born Margarita Carmen Cancino, was Hollywood's love goddess, but her ascent to stardom demanded a transformation that went beyond talent. In the 1940s, studio executives at Columbia Pictures saw her potential, but deemed her natural look too ethnic for mainstream appeal. To craft a more universal image, Rita underwent hairline electrolysis, a procedure documented in studio records and biographies. This process raised her forehead and reshaped her hairline, softening her distinctly Latina features to align with Anglo-centric beauty ideals. The change was subtle but deliberate, stripping away traces of her heritage to fit Hollywood's mold. This transformation reflected the era's troubling racial undertones. Old Hollywood often pressured stars of non-Anglo descent to erase cultural markers, favoring a homogenized standard of beauty. Rita's dark hair was dyed auburn, her skin lightened with makeup, and her name changed to distance her from her Spanish roots. Electrolysis was the final touch, ensuring her face conformed to the industry's expectations. The result was a polished icon, whose image captivated audiences, but at the cost of her authentic identity. Rita's story reveals how fame often demanded conformity, reshaping not just faces, but cultural narratives to appease a prejudiced system. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich, the enigmatic star of the 1930s, crafted an image of otherworldly allure, but her sculpted features owed as much to surgery as to artistry. Biographies and contemporary accounts suggest she underwent a rumored molar removal to hollow her cheeks, creating the sharp cheekbone definition that became her trademark. This procedure, though rare and risky for the time, accentuated her facial structure, giving her an ethereal, almost statuesque appearance. Additionally, Dietrich reportedly used face taping, a technique where adhesive strips were applied to lift and tighten her skin, enhancing the illusion of ageless perfection. Her obsession with lighting and camera angles amplified these effects. Dietrich worked closely with directors like Josef von Sternberg to ensure every shot showcased her surgically enhanced features. She insisted on specific lighting setups, often using top-down illumination to deepen the shadows beneath her cheekbones, creating a dramatic, timeless look. This meticulous control revealed her awareness of how surgery, combined with cinematic craft, could sustain her mystique. Dietrich's transformations highlight the lengths stars went to in an era when youth and beauty were non-negotiable. Her face became a canvas, blending medical intervention with Hollywood's illusion to cement her as an icon. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, a titan of Hollywood's golden age, built a career on fierce determination and an impeccable image. Her chiseled features and piercing gaze were no accident, shaped by multiple facelifts and extensive dental work, as noted in biographies and studio insider accounts. Starting in the 1940s, Crawford underwent facelifts to maintain her youthful appearance, tightening her skin to defy the aging process that threatened her leading lady status. Her dental work, including veneers and restructuring, crafted a flawless smile that became a hallmark of her on-screen intensity. These procedures were carefully concealed, known only to a select few. Beyond surgery, Crawford's beauty regimen was legendary. She adhered to a strict routine of ice baths, meticulous skincare, and diet control, all designed to complement her surgical upkeep. Rumors swirled about additional procedures, like minor touch-ups to her jawline, though she never confirmed them. Her commitment to maintenance reflected Hollywood's unforgiving standards, where aging was a career death sentence for women. Crawford's transformations were a calculated effort to remain relevant, each surgery a brushstroke in the portrait of a star who refused to fade. Her story underscores the relentless pressure to preserve perfection in an industry that demanded it. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, the voice of a generation, was molded into a star by the iron grip of MGM Studios, but her transformation came at a harrowing cost. Biographies and studio records reveal she was subjected to nose discs, devices inserted to reshape her nose for a daintier profile, and dental caps to perfect her smile. These alterations, starting in her teens, were paired with forced weight loss through extreme dieting and amphetamines, orchestrated by executives to craft a marketable ingenue. The procedures were not her choice, but demands of a contract that controlled her image. The nose discs subtly narrowed her features, aligning with Hollywood's idealized beauty standards. Dental caps gave her a radiant, uniform smile, essential for close-ups. The relentless weight loss, however, scarred her physically and emotionally, reflecting the dark side of studio dominance. MGM's obsession with perfection turned Judy into a product, her body altered to fit a fantasy while her health suffered. Her story exposes the grim reality of old Hollywood, where stars were sculpted like clay, their autonomy sacrificed for fame. Garland's alterations were a stark reminder of an industry that valued image over humanity. Clark Gable, Hollywood's king, embodied rugged masculinity, but his chiseled look was partly a creation of careful craftsmanship. Biographies and dental records confirm Gable lost most of his teeth in his 20s due to gum disease, a fact he kept hidden. By the 1930s, he wore custom dentures, designed to enhance his signature smile, which became a cornerstone of his charm. Additionally, subtle jawline work, likely fillers or minor surgical contouring, sharpened his features, as noted by studio insiders, giving him the strong, defined profile that defined his leading man image. The dentures transformed his uneven teeth into a perfect, gleaming grin, essential for his romantic roles. The jawline enhancements added a rugged edge, aligning with Hollywood's ideal of masculine allure. Gable's manufactured charm reveals how even male stars faced pressure to perfect their appearance, crafting personas that felt effortless but were meticulously built. His alterations, though discreet, ensured his rugged appeal endured, proving that even the king's charisma was partly shaped by surgical art. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift, a method-acting pioneer, captivated audiences with his brooding beauty, but a 1956 car accident shattered his face and career. Biographies and medical reports detail how the crash left him with a fractured jaw, broken nose, and severe facial lacerations. Reconstructive surgery followed, meticulously repairing his features with procedures like bone realignment and tissue grafting. These surgeries, performed in secrecy, aimed to restore his heartthrob image, but the results altered his once youthful appearance, leaving his face slightly asymmetrical and less expressive. The reconstruction saved his career but changed how cameras captured him. His later roles, like in Judgment at Nuremberg, relied more on emotional depth than physical charm, as the surgeries left faint scars and a stiffer expression. Clift's transformation was not about vanity, but survival, a stark contrast to Hollywood's elective procedures. His altered face became a haunting reminder of a life interrupted, reshaping his legacy as an actor who triumphed despite tragedy. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson, the quintessential leading man of the 1950s, embodied Hollywood's ideal of rugged handsomeness, but his polished look was carefully sculpted. Biographies and studio records confirm that early in his career, Hudson underwent rhinoplasty to refine his nose, narrowing its bridge to create a more classically attractive profile. He also had subtle chin work, likely implants or contouring, to enhance his jawline's strength, as noted by industry insiders. These procedures transformed Roy Scherer Jr. into the chiseled star audiences adored. Studio pressure drove these changes, as Universal Pictures molded Hudson to fit the heartthrob archetype, critical for his romantic roles. His closeted identity as a gay man added another layer of scrutiny, with the studio enforcing an image of hypermasculinity to protect his public persona. The surgeries were less about vanity and more about survival in an industry that demanded conformity. Hudson's transformation ensured his star power, but underscored the personal cost of fame, where authenticity was sacrificed for a manufactured ideal. Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis, born Bernard Schwartz, rose from New York's tough streets to Hollywood heartthrob, but his journey required a physical transformation. Biographies and studio accounts confirm that early in his career, Curtis underwent rhinoplasty to soften his prominent nose, refining its shape to create a smoother, more approachable profile. This subtle alteration, done in the late 1940s, was pivotal in reshaping his image from gritty character actor to leading man, as studios sought to maximize his appeal for romantic roles. The nose job softened his features, aligning with Hollywood's preference for polished, universally appealing stars. This change helped Curtis transition from tough guy roles to the charismatic charm of films like The Sweet Smell of Success. The surgery, though minor, was a calculated move by Universal Pictures to broaden his marketability, reflecting the industry's obsession with crafting perfect faces. Curtis's transformation underscores how a single procedure could redefine a career, turning a rough-edged actor into a cinematic idol who captivated audiences worldwide. Burt Lancaster. Burt Lancaster, a towering figure of Hollywood's golden age, exuded raw charisma and rugged charm, but his camera-ready look was subtly refined. Biographies and industry whispers suggest Lancaster underwent a rumored eye lift in the 1950s to reduce hooding, giving his eyes a sharper, more youthful appearance. Additionally, dental work, including veneers, perfected his smile, as noted by studio makeup artists, ensuring his grin matched his larger-than-life persona. These discreet tweaks kept him competitive in an industry unforgiving to aging stars. The eye lift, though never confirmed, subtly opened his gaze, enhancing his intense on-screen presence in films like Sweet Smell of Success. His dental work crafted a flawless smile, vital for close-ups that defined his romantic and heroic roles. Lancaster's enhancements were silent, blending seamlessly with his natural vigor, yet they reflected Hollywood's demand for timeless perfection. These minor alterations ensured he remained a leading man, proving even subtle changes could sustain a star's allure in a relentless industry. Gloria Graham. Gloria Graham, a film noir icon, mesmerized audiences with her sultry charm, but her pursuit of perfection led to a tragic transformation. Biographies, including Vincent Curcio's Suicide Blonde, detail how Graham, insecure about her thin upper lip, began stuffing it with cotton for a fuller look. By the mid-1940s, she turned to cosmetic surgery, undergoing multiple lip enhancement procedures. A botched surgery in the 1950s caused nerve damage, paralyzing her upper lip, as confirmed by her niece Vicki Mitchum. This altered her speech, giving it a stiff, slurred quality that critics noticed in her role as Otto Annie in Oklahoma, 1955. The paralysis hindered her ability to emote naturally, clashing with her established femme fatale persona. Coupled with rumors of difficult behavior on the Oklahoma set, her career waned, shifting to minor TV roles in shows like The Outer Limits. Graham's obsession with her appearance, driven by Hollywood's unforgiving standards, turned her greatest asset into a liability. Her story reflects the era's brutal pressure on women to maintain an idealized image, where a single misstep in cosmetic enhancement could derail a star's trajectory, leaving a lasting scar on both face and legacy. Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr, hailed as the most beautiful woman in the world, was a Hollywood siren whose allure was partly shaped by cutting-edge cosmetic procedures. Biographies, including Stephen Michael Shearer's Beautiful, suggest Lamarr underwent rumored facial surgeries in the 1940s, such as early facelifts or skin-tightening treatments, to maintain her ethereal look. She also explored experimental anti-aging methods like chemical peels, which were rare for the era, as noted in industry accounts. These procedures kept her visage flawless, aligning with MGM's vision of her as a timeless goddess. Her surgical enhancements complemented her dual legacy as both a beauty icon and a brilliant inventor, co-patenting a frequency-hopping system that influenced modern Wi-Fi. Yet, Hollywood's obsession with her looks often overshadowed her intellect, driving her to pursue these secretive treatments. Lamarr's willingness to embrace experimental procedures reflected her innovative spirit, but also the relentless pressure to preserve her image. Her story reveals a woman navigating fame's demands, balancing physical perfection with a mind that reshaped technology. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow, the original blonde bombshell, defined 1930s glamour, but her iconic look exacted a heavy toll. Biographies, including David Stein's Bombshell, confirm Harlow's relentless use of peroxide, ammonia, and bleach to maintain her signature platinum hair caused severe scalp damage, leading to burns and thinning. Rumored skin treatments, like early chemical peels mentioned in studio accounts, aimed to preserve her flawless complexion, though some left her skin irritated. These efforts, driven by MGM's demand for her luminous image, transformed her into a star, but at a cost. The scalp damage from bleaching required constant maintenance, with wigs and touch-ups hiding the harm. Her rumored peels, though innovative, risked burns to achieve her porcelain glow. Harlow's transformation into the platinum ideal set a beauty standard, but reflected Hollywood's punishing expectations, where stars endured physical pain for fame. Her story reveals the hidden sacrifices behind her dazzling image, proving the blonde bombshell paid dearly to shine. Linda Darnell. Linda Darnell, a 1940s starlet known for her luminous presence, faced a devastating setback that reshaped her life. In 1965, as documented in biographies like Ronald L. Davis's Hollywood Beauty, Darnell suffered severe burns in a house fire, damaging over 80% of her body. She underwent extensive skin grafting surgeries to repair the scarred tissue, particularly on her face and arms. These reconstructive procedures, performed in secrecy to protect her public image, aimed to restore her appearance but left visible marks that altered her once flawless look. The surgeries were a testament to her resilience, allowing her to survive the initial trauma, but the physical and emotional toll was immense. Despite her efforts to reclaim her career, the accident shifted her trajectory, leading to fewer roles and struggles with alcoholism. Tragically, Darnell died from her injuries at age 41, her grafting unable to fully heal her. Her story reflects the fragility of fame, where even heroic medical interventions could not undo the cruel twists of fate. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, the queen of Hollywood drama, wielded her expressive eyes like weapons, but their power was partly sculpted by subtle surgeries. Biographies, including Ed Seekoff's Dark Victory, note that Davis underwent discreet eye work, likely blepharoplasty, in the 1940s to reduce puffiness and enhance her wide-eyed intensity. She also had facelifts, as confirmed by makeup artists' accounts, to tighten her skin and preserve her commanding presence. These procedures ensured her face remained a canvas for her unparalleled emotional range. The eye work refined her gaze, amplifying the fierce vulnerability that defined roles like Margot Channing. Facelifts smoothed her features, allowing her to defy aging while dominating the screen into her 50s. Davis's surgeries were strategic, enhancing her ability to convey complex characters without losing her distinctive look. Her transformations reflect a calculated balance between art and image, proving how surgical tweaks could amplify a star's natural gifts, keeping her a formidable force in Hollywood's competitive landscape. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, a cinematic legend, evolved from a child star to a screen goddess, but whispers of surgical enhancements shadowed her ascent. And biographies, including Kitty Kelley's Elizabeth Taylor, The Last Star, fuel persistent rumors that Taylor underwent rhinoplasty in her late teens to refine her nose, softening its shape for a more delicate profile. Speculation also surrounds subtle chin work, possibly implants, to enhance her jawline's elegance, as noted by studio makeup artists. These changes helped sculpt her iconic, regal beauty. Though never confirmed, the rumored rhinoplasty aligned her features with Hollywood's idealized femininity, easing her transition from youthful roles to sultry leads in films like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. The chin work, if true, added sophistication, cementing her as a timeless beauty. Taylor's transformation reflects the industry's pressure on young stars to evolve into marketable icons. Her journey from child prodigy to global superstar reveals how subtle tweaks could redefine a career, crafting an enduring legend. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner, a noir goddess with an untamed beauty, captivated Hollywood, but her rise came with studio-driven alterations. Biographies such as Lee Server's Ava Gardner. Love is Nothing fuel speculation that MGM pushed for a rhinoplasty in the early 1940s to refine her nose, subtly narrowing its bridge to soften her striking features. Though unconfirmed, makeup artists' accounts suggest this procedure polished her look, aligning it with the industry's polished feminine ideal. Gardner, however, resisted Hollywood's relentless beauty machine. Wary of losing her natural allure, the rumored nose job enhanced her photogenic appeal, elevating her from supporting roles to a leading lady in films like Mogambo. Yet, Gardner's defiance of further cosmetic demands preserved her raw, distinctive charm, setting her apart from cookie-cutter starlets. Her transformation reflects the tension between studio control and personal identity, where a single alteration could boost a career, but also spark a quiet rebellion. Gardner's story reveals a star who navigated fame's pressures with cautious resilience. Lana Turner. Lana Turner, Hollywood's sweater girl, was molded into a pin-up icon by MGM's relentless image machine. Biographies, including Jane Ellen Wayne's Lana, The Life and Loves of Lana Turner, suggest she underwent alleged facial tweaks, such as subtle rhinoplasty to refine her nose and cheekbone contouring in the early 1940s. Studio records also hint at body sculpting procedures, likely liposuction or corset training, to enhance her curvaceous figure, cementing her as a wartime fantasy figure. These changes transformed a teenage discovery into a screen siren. MGM's meticulous crafting ensured Turner's features matched the era's idealized beauty, making her a star in films like Ziegfeld Girl. The alleged tweaks, though discreet, amplified her photogenic appeal, aligning with the studio's vision of a perfect product. Turner's transformation reflects Hollywood's power to shape not just careers, but bodies, turning raw talent into a manufactured icon whose allure captivated millions but came at the cost of personal autonomy. Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren, the Italian enchantress who conquered Hollywood, embodied timeless elegance, but whispers of cosmetic enhancements have long shadowed her natural allure. Biographies, such as Warren G. Harris's Sophia Loren. A biography fueled rumors of subtle procedures in the 1950s and 1960s, including a possible rhinoplasty to refine her nose's bridge and minor eyelid surgery to enhance her expressive gaze. Industry insiders also speculate about early skin tightening treatments, like mild chemical peels, to maintain her flawless complexion. These alleged tweaks, though unconfirmed, aligned with Hollywood's pressure to perfect even the most striking faces. Despite these rumors, Loren has consistently insisted on aging gracefully, famously attributing her beauty to diet, exercise, and olive oil. In interviews, including a 2014 W Magazine feature, she dismissed extensive surgery claims, emphasizing natural care over invasive procedures. Her stance resonated with fans, presenting a counterpoint to Hollywood's obsession with youth. Yet, the subtle enhancements, if true, likely amplified her photogenic appeal, aiding her transition from Italian cinema to global stardom in films like Houseboat. Loren's story reflects a delicate balance. A star navigating industry demands while championing authenticity. Whether natural or subtly enhanced, her beauty became a legacy of resilience, proving a star could age with dignity while still captivating the world. Grace Kelly. Grace Kelly, Hollywood's golden girl turned Monaco's princess, epitomized timeless elegance, but her flawless image may have been shaped by subtle surgical intervention. Biographies such as Donald Spoto's High Society, The Life of Grace Kelly, fuel speculation that Kelly underwent rhinoplasty in the early 1950s, before her breakout role in High Noon. The procedure, rumored to have been suggested by MGM, refined her nose, softening its bridge to enhance her delicate aristocratic features. This alteration, though never confirmed, crafted the ethereal look that captivated audiences and royalty alike. The rumored rhinoplasty aligned her appearance with the refined elegance demanded of leading ladies, propelling her to stardom in films like To Catch a Thief. Her transformation mirrored her fairy tale ascent from actress to Princess of Monaco, where her poised beauty became a global symbol of grace. The The surgery, if true, was a subtle but pivotal step, blending seamlessly with her natural charm to create an image of perfection. Kelly's glow-up reflects Hollywood's knack for crafting icons whose transformations extended beyond the screen, shaping not just careers, but destinies. Her journey from starlet to royalty reveals how a single procedure could amplify a persona, turning a talented actress into a living legend whose elegance defined an era. Behind every perfect close-up was a scalpel, a secret, and a sacrifice. The stars of Hollywood's golden age, from Marilyn Monroe to Grace Kelly, crafted their iconic images under immense pressure, where beauty was not just an asset, but a mandate. Rhinoplasties, facelifts, and experimental procedures reshaped noses, tightened skin, and erased cultural identities, all to meet at an industry's unforgiving standards. These transformations, often hidden in whispers and studio cover-ups, reveal a truth. Fame demanded more than talent. It required physical reinvention, sometimes at the cost of health, identity, or autonomy. Judy Garland's studio-enforced alterations and Gloria Graham's tragic lip surgery expose an era where stars were molded like products, their bodies sculpted to fit a fantasy that captivated millions but left scars unseen. This was an era without filters or Photoshop, where the scalpel was the ultimate tool for perfection. The sacrifices were profound. Rita Hayworth's ethnic erasure, Montgomery Clift's post-accident reconstruction, and Jean Harlow's damaged scalp highlight the lengths stars went to stay in the spotlight. These stories remind us that Hollywood's glamour was built on a fragile illusion, where beauty was engineered and authenticity often surrendered. The price of fame was not just personal, it reflected a culture that valued image over individuality, leaving legacies both dazzling and haunting. Which transformation shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold Hollywood secrets.